Hey there, dog lovers. Welcome to the Peaceful Pause Method. I'm Pat Blocker, and I'm so glad that you're here. If you're looking for a kinder way to work with your dog, one that builds trust instead of obedience and connection instead of control, you're in the right place. Every week, I share practical science-based strategies that honor the emotional well-being of both you and your dog. Because true training isn't about compliance, it's about connection. So grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's create some peaceful pause.
Imagine this. You're out for what should be a peaceful walk, and then another dog appears from around the corner. In an instant, your dog erupts, lunging, barking, spinning at the end of the leash. And somewhere in the back of your mind, a voice says, "What am I doing wrong?" If that sounds familiar, stay with me because today we're talking about reactivity, what it actually is, why the most common fixes make it worse, and what to do instead. My work is rooted in the belief that real training is about connection, not compliance. And nowhere is that more true than when we're working with reactive dogs. So let's get into it. What is reactivity, really? When a dog lunges or barks at a trigger, another dog, a stranger, a bike, whatever it is for your dog, that's reactive behavior. But here's what most traditional training completely skips over. Reactivity is communication. Your dog is not being dominant. They're not trying to embarrass you. They're not in control. They've lost control. Reactivity almost always comes from fear, frustration, or a lack of emotional regulation skills. Sometimes it's all three at once. Here's an analogy I love. Imagine that you have a deep fear of spiders and someone places a tarantula 2 feet from your face. You might scream, jump back, bolt from the room. Now, would it help if someone punished you for that reaction? Of course not. It would only pile shame and confusion on top of the fear that was already there. Our dogs are no different. Why correction makes it worse? So what happens when we respond to reactivity with a leash correction, a harsh no, or I'll just say it, a shock or a prong collar? At best, we suppress the visible behavior. The barking stops. We think we've fixed it. But we haven't touched the emotional state underneath. The fear is still there. The overwhelm is still there. We've just taught the dog to keep it hidden. And here's where it gets serious. I have never met a reactive dog who was corrected into genuine calm. What I have met are dogs who learned to suppress their warning signals, the growl, the stiff body, the hard stare, until one day, without any warning, they bite. Suppressing the growl doesn't eliminate the fear, it just removes the dog's ability to tell us how close to the edge they are. When we use pain or intimidation with an already frightened dog, we're not teaching them that the world is safe. We're teaching them that their triggers predict not just the scary thing, but also pain from the one person they trust most. We can do better than that. Our dogs deserve better than that. What we do instead. The peaceful pause method works through what I call the SIT framework. SITT. Science, intuition, trust, and training. Reactivity work touches all four. Science tells us to use counter-conditioning and desensitization. That means pairing the trigger at a distance that the dog can handle with something genuinely wonderful. High-value treats, play, whatever your dog loves. We repeat this over time until the trigger stops predicting threat and starts predicting good things. The emotional response actually changes. Intuition means learning to read your dog's body language before they bark. The lip lick, the yawn, the spine that stiffens just slightly, the weight shifting forward. These are whispers before the shout, and when we learn to catch them, we can step in before the dog ever reaches that point of explosion. Trust is the whole foundation. When your dog knows you're paying attention, that you'll move them away from the things that frighten them, that you won't drag them into situations they can't handle, their nervous system starts to regulate. You become a safe base. And from a safe base, real learning becomes possible. In training, we give dogs something to do in the presence of their triggers. Eye contact, a hand touch, a voluntary check-in. These aren't distractions, they're skills. They're a way for your dog to say, I see the thing and I'm choosing to come back to you. 3 places to start right now. If you're living with a reactive dog and you want to start today, here are 3 things that you can do on your very next walk. 1, increase the distance. I cannot say this enough. Distance is your most powerful tool. Give your dog more space than you think they need. Watch what happens to their body when the trigger is far away versus close up. Distance is the variable that determines whether your dog is under or over threshold. 2, regulate yourself first. Your dog reads your tension before you even notice it yourself. The moment you spot the trigger coming, take a slow, deliberate breath, soften your grip on the leash. Your calm behavior is genuinely contagious. 3, reward the look back. When your dog notices a trigger and glances back at you instead of reacting, mark that moment and reward it generously. That split second of orientation toward you is exactly what we're building. Don't let it slip by unmarked. Here's what I want to leave you with. Reactive dogs are not broken. In my experience, they are some of the most sensitive, perceptive, deeply feeling dogs I've ever had the privilege of working with. When we stop trying to suppress what they're expressing and start truly listening, the transformation is breathtaking. Your dog doesn't need to be corrected into compliance. They need to be understood into confidence. If you want support working through reactivity or any behavior that feels stuck, I work with dogs and their guardians one-on-one through the Peaceful Pause method. You can find my contact information to reach out in the following frames. And if this video was helpful, please share it with someone who's struggling with a reactive dog. They need to hear this too. So until next time, peaceful pause to you all.
Thanks so much for spending time with me today. I hope this gives you and your pup a pathway to more peace and connection. If you found this helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an episode. And if you're ready to dive deeper or need some personal support for you and your dog, head on over to my website, which is www.patblocker.com, or reach out to me directly at info@patblocker.com. Remember, every small step you take with kindness creates lasting change. I'll see you next time, and until then, keep creating peaceful pause.